Black Panther movement, Malcolm X, all this, all these things. So we started organizing what's called Student Organization for Black Communities. We called it SOBUC. And I was one of the organizers, where we said we need to go to Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and try to get all the black colleges to also come to send students to Ivy League universities. So I was in an Ivy League university college. Then what we did was we also said, let's celebrate Adwa victory. So my first year, when I was still studying at Columbia University, I started this. This is me. You see? And these are my brothers. We're all there fighting. So we celebrated Adwa victory. You see? That's how we started. I must tell you, for 56 years now, everywhere I'm celebrating. Mexico, Cuba, wherever I'm invited. I get invited all over the world. China, India, everywhere. Every year, if I'm there, of course South Africa, we celebrate it every year. I have never stopped celebrating Adwa every year because it still continues. So I'm feeling as if I'm continuing the struggle. Something like that is what I'm doing. I just want to tell you, that's why I put this picture for you to see. Yeah? That's just, what I want to tell you is the inspiration, the significance of Adwa victory. Adwa victory promoted African unity on a world scale. Enduring lessons from Adwa Great African Victory, commemorating Adwa victory by erecting lasting heritage, world media coverage is very interesting. Idea is to celebrate 100 Adwa Great African Victory, and I think fundraising and many things that we need to continue to do, more interesting things, even creating scholarships, many things like that is what I think I like us to do. So just to give you some inspiration, some very, very good people like. So lofty was the status of Ethiopia and the African diaspora that it sometimes was synonymous with Africa itself. This is Menelik abroad, Raymond Jonas. He's an American professor at Harvard University. He wrote in the Harvard University press, The Battle of Adwa, African Victory in the Age of Empire. And very interesting, what he just said was the victory, he is the one who said the victory of Adwa is not just an Ethiopian victory, it's an African victory. It's the anti-colonial victory, that's what he said. And he wrote it in the Harvard University Press, which is so good. We also now have established a new university, we call it Osiri University. We tried to get it registered, approved in Africa, it took us a long time. But we did it in America. In Lincoln, Nebraska, we got it approved. And now we created it with the values of Ubuntu. What we mean by that is no tuition charge for anyone. No. Free. We are doing it very nicely, and we're also using our principle, South Africa's values and philosophy of Ubuntu, to do it like that. So all our students, already we have about 150 students registered for masters, and then I'm expecting to register about 2,000 students for PhD, doctorate. We're going to try many, many good things. We're working very hard, seriously. And we need values like this, but we don't want you to Pan-African iconic hero, our Mandela service also. Very possible. So we should be together, we should be one. Yeah? And the significance of Adwa victory. In 1904, Haiti's 100th centenary independence was celebrated in Addis Ababa. An honored guard of Ethiopians volunteered. They fired several rounds. Their slogan, long live Haiti, long live the Ethiopia of America. Beniti Suleiman wrote the permission from Emperor Menelik for the celebration. Suleiman represented both Ethiopia and Haiti in the 1900 Pan-African Congress. In fact, it's very important that the Pan-African Congress, when it was started, the first honorary president was Emperor Menelik. And then Emperor Menelik said, it's difficult for him to travel. Can you please represent me? And he did. Isn't that nice? That's what he did. So, the African National Congress made Ethiopianism its founding ideology. The churches protested against racist theology in Ethiopianism. John Langa Bilele Dube, first pastor, first leader of what they say. All right? Look what they say. This is a press from France. The defeat of the Italians by Menelik should be remembered in history forever. This victory will arouse the spirit of Africans who until today have been treated with contempt as pagans. Menelik's victory is the victory of all of Africa. This kind of commentary is going to be strongly evident in the future. Since it travels fast on the wing of air across the desert, the news is known now from end to end in those African countries. In the future too, since it is known that Africa defeated Europe, it will create a sense of defense and raise a level of consciousness of millions of Africans. It's not comfortable to be happy with the defeat of the Italians. This defeat is ours and that of others. It's a defeat of colonial Europe and tomorrow's Europe too. This is a French journalist saying what this victory means. Can you imagine? It's a defeat of Europe, he said. All right? And the victory of Africa. This is what the press say. And I just want to mention to you a few more press. There's so many interesting things that was covered. I mean, even here in South Africa, everywhere, the way they covered it. All right? On March 5, 1896, a few days after the victory of Adwa, the Johannesburg newspaper, The Star, wrote this. The utter and crushing defeat represents the most disastrous check which any European power has received at the hands of the natives for years past. It cannot be deplored by white men in all parts of Africa. It's far from impossible that this great defeat may have even larger consequences than a temporary check to civilization in Africa. That's what also South Africa said. On the same day, the South African Cape Argus newspaper editor said, Italy is bound to carry out to the bitter and her policy in Abyssinia. Menelik must be crushed at any cost. Meanwhile, Italy will have the keenest sympathy in her latest struggle. Yes. The New York Herald Tribune Associated Press were the main source of the original Adwa Menelik dispatches. This is one of them, what wrote. On October 12, 1890, 7 years before the Battle of Adwa, introduced Menelik, calling him Africa's most powerful ruler. He's called black, short, and dumpy. And then Bismarck Daily Tribune reported 5 years before the battle about Menelik's declaration of intentions sent to European leaders. It reads, King Menelik of Abyssinia has astonished European leaders by serving on them a general notice of keep off this plot. The message sounds like a warning to Europeans to stay away from Abyssinia. This is further explained by the following phrases that the author uses to sarcastically interpret Menelik's message. He did not even say many words or add, beware of the dog, or the bull is dangerous, but that is the purpose of this circular, or something like that. So there were many, I mean, you will not believe the kind of media coverages around. We're trying to write a book on this, where we can actually collect all this information and do it very seriously. So, commemoration of Adwa victory by erecting lasting heritage. That's what we have not been doing very well. Yeah. And we are suggesting some less heritage. One of the heritage we want to suggest is, it is not accepted that the great and historic Adwa victory by the African world, in the colonized world, is not, having heritage. So when the defeated denounce that great African victory as a foul crime, there should have been serious effort to educate and win generations by creating the Adwa historical heritage site. It must be done. Let's call for the Africans to unite and establish a great Pan-African Adwa victory heritage site at this time, all right? And the Adwa victory should have been recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Struggle, a resource for generations to value and keep learning from. So I think there should have been an African education. The African great Adwa Great African Victory represents by establishing a special university. We need to create the African Pan-African, the Adwa Pan-African University. Idea is there, but not yet realized. It should be launched. And it was not launched. It's still not launched. Let there be a statue also erected in Adwa of all the key leaders. Some of these pictures you saw with the Haile Gerima's film. We should be actually erecting them, and let there be a museum detailing how the battle was won. At least now we heard in Ethiopia they created a museum. There should be all the reports, remembering the way the strategy was designed to create a decisive victory, including the key calls from the leaders. There should be special library, both physical and digital, in Adwa to record and show all the African struggle histories, not just Adwa's alone, but inspired by the great Adwa African victory. Let Adwa inspire all the struggle that we should all remember, enabling the African world never to surrender to any form of injustice, colonial or imperial injustice, ever again. So we ask African Union and all the African governments and the African diaspora and all from the global south to be actively involved and contribute without fail to highlight the great Adwa victory. This can be done by the African Union taking the decision by making March 1 every year a special day by the great African. I would like, because we were not able to do it on the 125 years, I want it to be done not in 120 years, 130 years. Can we work together, all of us? 130 years. We actually do all these interesting sites so that we really motivate everyone to unite and really come up with really making sure that Africa is with us, for us, together, to us, something like that. So a special Adwa victory song, film and handbook must come out by involving, the African youth. Nothing is more important than getting the younger generations to be involved. We're hoping all who are able to contribute to this. Again, all African states should think about setting aside a month for African unity and renaissance or learning from Africa's great struggles, not just Adwa, but all the other struggles. The entire Islamic heritage in Africa must also be done in the education. We need to create, in fact, in the education system, we need to decolonize the education system, where that's why we have created this Osiri University. And what we want is, with the values of Ubuntu, it's not just education, it's also changing communities, values, everything. And I think it's very, very important we do that. So I think ideas to celebrate Adwa victory, the Ethiopian, we should have really handbook on this. We should do it on I don't know. I went back. Yes, I mean this is Yerem and Jonas, I don't know, but I just mentioned some of the things I mentioned to you already, the arcs, everything what must be done as well.